Good day, guys. Nathaniel Evans. Welcome to I Am the Data. We focus on leadership and inner development. This path has taken me to many different insights on dealing with different levels of leadership and dealing with different components of change. Today, I have a great discussion, as always, that I believe in. This discussion is actually talking about pull that little piece of thread for success. And what does that mean? That means that there's something in your life that's so important, that's so invaluable, that for some reason or another, regardless of what you have been through in life, you never let it go. You held on to it. I don't know what it is. It's one little component about you that you never let go, regardless of what it is you went through in the land. And that is called that piece of thread, that little piece of thread. And as you move with that little piece of thread, it may start really small, man. And you pull it and you pull it and you pull it to different levels of success. So when you take this one thread, you might be in a space of darkness, and you say, you know what? I can come out of this. What I gotta do is focus on this one component, this one principle, this one belief system, this one value system, this one moralistic concept to pull me out of this space that I'm in. And if I find this one thing, I find this one piece of thread that pulls me, right? It can safeguard my life and allow me to channel new energy and new purpose for me to be able to change. One of the things about change that we see is that it's consistent and it doesn't stand still. So when you're moving with change, you got to move with change. You can't say, let me look back at change and let me just look at change from a bird's eye view. No, you got to be in the midst of that change. And as you're in the midst of that change, you start to see your change in that change. You start to see the different things that you got to attach yourself to. You can see different components attaching themselves onto you. People, places, or things that trying to move you and help you move out of that space that you have found yourself to be comfortable in, that you know is not for your security. So as we move in, we find that piece of thread, which is us. That's what that piece of thread is. Us is our value system, our belief systems, who we really are at the core, at the thick of everything, right? We find that space, and we pull, and we pull, and we keep pulling out that thread until it leads us into another component. This is important to actually be able to see your life in real time. And that's basically what it comes down to, is seeing what's happened to you in real time and not making any mysteries about it. I think one of the things about change is actually not accepting the fact that you have to change, or not accepting the fact that you're in a space of change and that the change must take place. So you may be denying what you have to do and how you have to do those things. And there's other things that's around you that's going to try to confirm your denial, right? And you don't need anything, any person to come into your space to confirm that you're in a space that you're not supposed to be in and say, you know what, it's all right for you to be there. It's not all right for you to be there. You know, finding inner peace, it's easier said than done. All right. It's like walking, down a block and saying, I want a great pizza, right? But you don't know what a great pizza is until you actually eat that pizza. Somebody can say, this pizza shop right here is amazing. I like this pizza shop. And when you go in there, you don't like the way they do the sauce. You don't like the way they do the cheese. You don't like the way they do the crust. You know what I'm saying? So that pizza shop is not amazing to you. You may find another one like next door or across the street or something like that, right? But at the end of the day, we seek for purpose. We seek for perfection. We seek for our inner peace. And our inner peace is not outside of us. I just want to say that again. Our inner peace is not outside of us. That's why it says inner, right? But when you're in the world and you're looking into the world, you see that there's a lot of peace associated to a lot of things. You know, people get peace by having cars or, by having a particular boyfriend or girlfriend. They get peace by, getting your first house, or even get peace by having money, right? And as we look in life, all those things are short-lived, right? They're not to actually increase us from within. We can have all these external things, but it doesn't mean that we're going to become the person that we're supposed to be according to all these different external factors, right? So as we're looking back and we're seeing our lives and we're seeing, how these things are unfolding, what are the components that we actually put into our lives to ensure that our lives stay in an enrichment state? It's all about being enriched. You know, you can use all the fantasies that you want. You know, you can make yourself believe that you're perfect. You can make yourself believe that everything is Gucci, as they say in the world. And but you know within your hearts of hearts that there's more things you have to do for yourself. There's more insight you have to actually project for your own, you know what I'm saying, realities of life. And this makes everything so important for you when you actually start seeing yourself in real time and associated to all the different things that's in correlation to you. We bring so many realities into our worlds, and sometimes we forget the things that we bring into our worlds and we try to deny them. We might bring, you know, people in our world that's not fit into our world, circumstances that really don't have nothing to do with our overall existence, and you know, really like mischannel who we are. And now we have to come back to the framework of actually trying to decipher where do we go next. Look at this, right? This is our perception in real time. What is our perception in real time? What does that thread for your life looks like? How can you pull that thread until it has no more length yet, right? How can you pull it into the abyss if it actually even go that far deep, right? How do you use the mechanisms of who you are, those components of who you are that you stored up? How do you use them now to rechannel your life? Like how do you get into the face of your own change? Let's look at that. When we talk about change, do you see your face associated to the change that you're talking about? Are you connected to the change? Do you wake up, think about it? Do you go to sleep, think about it? Does it move you? You know what I'm saying? As you're moving through the land, like how are you able to be defined, right, according to the different changes that's taking place, right? And this is really important to see, like understanding that without you, there's no change, and without change in your life, there's not going to be the interrelationship that you actually need. So it's actually learning that you have to see what your change is before you to be able to pull on that change and allow that change to take you into a new wholesome direction, right? And I look at that because that is where it starts at. You know, it starts with who we are and what we are and how we able to, you know, redevelop into our own personal lives. A lot of times it's like I want more than I have the substance for. You know, I want to do more than I have set myself up for success for. I have not created the right structure, the right guidelines for myself, the right insights for my life. I haven't seen those things. So I'm actually setting all these things up without making sure that I'm the purpose for any of these things that's actually taking place. You know, this outside body experience of moving into spaces unknown without actually doing the homework, without making sure that you're secure, right, is something that will not allow you to actually move at the level that you're supposed to move at. Let's think about this. There's you and there's everything else that's around you. And there's only one of you, but it's all these other entities and all this other energy that's around you that you also have to contend with as you seek to grow in your own personal life, right? So as we seek to grow, we are constantly in this battle with ourselves of what we should let go, what should we take in, right? You know, how do we reevaluate our structures? You know, I'm on a podcast and I had a partner and the partner left. And it was like, you know, I had to restructure my whole podcast, you know, and it happened abruptly. I wasn't prepared for it. You know, it didn't happen like 6 months in advance or a month in advance. It happened abruptly. And it took me for a loop because now I have to go back to my principles on why I actually started the podcast in the first place. I have to go back to my substance of who I am and what allows me to continue to do the work that I'm doing and why I actually create the podcast in the first place. So when I don't see my life on that level and something dramatic changes, I could lose my footing, and just say, I'm gonna stop my podcast because I lost my partner out of nowhere, and it was a real hefty blow that took place against me, and I'm like, you know what, I got to keep going because this podcast is important to me, and the message that I bring forth is important to me, and being able to connect with other people is also something that's important to me, right? I look at these essential things because these are the guiding forces that allow me to continue to move in my own space in life, regardless of anybody that actually adheres to my space or promote my space or will sacrifice, to help me to grow and get to a higher plateau. And at the same time, I will help them grow and get to a plateau as well. When you're looking at this world and you're looking at the people that you're connecting to, you need to understand that sometimes you may deem yourself to be on the same page, but you're not, right? And when that takes place, you have to make sure that you're on your page for life. You can't let nobody come into your space, and you can't let anybody derail you off your path and off your purpose, right? And when we're looking at these little threads that we're talking about, you know what I'm saying, we're realizing that these threads allow us to channel new life into our lives. It's giving ourselves a purpose to be a part of a greater purpose, and to know that we have a purpose in this life. And when we look at the world, we see a lot of economical structures. People talk about money a lot of times. Money is talked about more than collaboration. Money is talked about more than unification. Money is talked about more than humanitarianism, right? Money is talked about more than consolidation of teams and services to build greater infrastructures. Men and women, they will come into your space in your life to extract from you, to create their legacies and create the thing they need to create. But you're not really in that playing field, actually interacting with these different entities, because the collaboration component is only short lived. So basically, if I run out of money, there's no more collaboration, there's no more unification, you know, and that's where you see that the business model that you're trying to create, right, may be in jeopardy, because you may have people in your space that's not here to help your space elevate to the next level, right? You want to actually connect with other people, you want to do business with other people, but we're in a time period right now, and we're going through COVID-19, we're going through economical hardships in a land where, when we're looking at consolidations and we're looking at unifications and collaborations, those things are the most important things. When we collaborate ourselves, when we actually energize ourselves, when you unify with who we are and what our future directions are, or our momentary directions are, we able to increase ourselves in spaces that we didn't even see that we was replenishing. Learning from who we are and learning from what we are, right, allow us to regather our footing, allow us to reestablish a lot of our purposes that we have denied ourselves while we was in the land. There are a lot of challenges that we face, hardships, losses that we go through, that we don't really make peace with it. A lot of time it's like it just moves. It just moves, and it doesn't move us to where we're supposed to be at. And it's looking at those things and saying, why am I, punishing myself with the world? Or why am I doing this? Why am I making myself feel like I have control of the universe, that I can control what takes place in the universe, what doesn't take place in the universe? How do I do that? Right? How do I be the master of something that I'm not the master of? Right? And then allow it to actually not have mastery over me because I didn't master it. That's You have to stay out of spaces, that dark spaces that not allow you to grow and to develop. And spaces that are not of your control, spaces that are not of your development, spaces that are not of your design, are detrimental to your growth and development. A lot of times you will go into spaces thinking that you're prepared for the fight, you're prepared for the direction that they're going in, and you don't even know what's going on. You don't know the fight, you don't know the direction, right? And a lot of time it's because you're out of your element. It's not for you. It's not your space. It's not your time, right? Learning who we are by channeling new energy, by pulling on that thread I talked to you about success, is what allow us to create new playing fields for our lives. Allow us to go through hardship that we never even imagined that we would even experience, be able to come out on top. Right? I really think about a lot of things a lot of times, and sometimes I just want to be in the moment of feeling the feel of what it is that I'm feeling, and I'm not always clear about what's going on. And so I ask questions, I connect with other people, I read books, I pray, I fast, I do different things to help me with some level of clarity because I don't know all things. And because I don't know all things, I'm going to ensure, that I keep my presence of who I am, solid, right? And at the forefront. Because I need to understand some things about me that regardless of what happens outside of me, it keeps me grounded and it keeps me purposeful. And that I don't go around, chasing my tail and getting caught up in, detrimental concepts about who I am, negative beliefs about who I am and what I can do in the world, and what I can't do in the world, and how I failed and how I didn't do this and do different things. At the end of the day, it's about getting out of your way. Because if you don't get out your way, when you pull on that thread, you're gonna bump right into you. All them old belief systems, all them old value systems, the moralistic systems, that you was dealing with, those are the things you're gonna bump right into, right? As you're trying to grow. As you pull on your thread, you're gonna run back into you. Now you have to make a decision now on should I go back to the old me or should I stay in the new me? Should I keep pulling on this new energy? It's so hard, trying to create new relationships and new foundations. And people have denied me in the past and they will not open the doors for me in the future and everything. Move that energy out of your space. Do yourself a major favor and move any energy that takes place in your life like that's detrimental out of your space. It's important that you should know that you deserve to be great and that you deserve to know greatness in your life and to preserve the greatness that's in your life. This is why I do Data. Data is a reminder to me always, that men rises and men falls. But there's something else that's amazing to that, man. Man is able to rise again after every fall. That's the amazing thing about this. As we still here and as we're living, as we're breathing, as we have the constitution of life that flows through us, when we fall off the path that we have created, that has been designed for us, that we allow other people to model out for us, we fall off those plateaus, ironically, miraculously, we're able to rise again. It's understanding that nothing is greater than you. Nothing. Not even your past faults and your past mistakes and your past, missteps are greater than you. These are things that you had to go through and experience for you to find out new things about you that you never even knew. You might have had a lot of money and lost it because you identify yourself with money and then realize that you're greater than money because you have to make the money to bring it to you. So the money is, it's not greater than you, right? It's coming to an understanding about our lives and what is fundamental for our lives that gives us new life. Are we able to find new life? Or are we just stuck with that old life that we created? The old habits, behaviors, belief systems, morals, concepts. Are we stuck in that person? If you was known as an angry person and you turn and try to and strive into a humble person, will you always be reminded that you're an angry person? Or will you remind yourself that you was an angry person, and angry people should not be able to change into a humble person? Right? What it is that you do against yourself and say against yourself actually translates back to yourself. If you take this new thread, this new energy that I'm talking about, and isolate that new energy, that new thread, and pull that new energy and pull that new thread, it's going to take you to a different place that you never even even conceptualized before. It's going to show you that you have control of things that you didn't even think you had control about. It's going to manifest to you that you have a value and a purpose for your existence, and that no entity on any level has the right to deny you of that purpose. That's what it's going to show you. We're talking about locking ourselves back in for the aspect of being free of ourselves. That's it. We want to pull on this little piece of thread for our success to free ourselves from the concept of what success may be from the outside aspect, and we're looking on the internal. What are external values of our success as comparison to our internal? Which one will actually stand the test of time? Your external, your things that you have outside the elements, or the things that you have protected from the elements? Which one has more potential to move you forward in the near future? Get all the external gifts that you want to get. Buy them. Play with them. Have fun with them. But never define yourself by them. That's what I believe. I believe that we are great in all the things that we seek to possess, right? All the things that we seek to become a part of, we're great in those things. The groups, the clubs, different teams that we're looking for, different levels of status. All those things are beneath us because we strive to get them, right? And once we strive to get something, all of a sudden we take that thing and we put it on top of us. So now it's dominating us instead of the other way around. Think about it. Think about it. Think about your energy and what it produces and how it's there to help you, rechannel and to find a better space for yourself. Like what is this value for you when you're moving through life? This new energy that you're gonna find, this energy that's been inside you that you've been denying, to write that book or to become a motivational speaker or become a comedian, you know, to build up your platform, the different things that you have to do. But what is the medium of that? How do you find peace in those spaces, that's external and that's not internal? How do you find peace with them? You have to layer you with those things. The person that you are, the inner being that you are, you have to do wraparound services of all those things you come into contact with people, places, and things to ensure that you remain a major conduit of your change and nobody else. There's so, much talk in the land about wealth, success, and, you know, doing big and grandiose things in the world. And I just think, a lot of times we just want to live beyond our means and just be on a higher level, which is amazing. But I also think that we should give ourselves opportunities to fail, opportunities to learn new things about ourselves, opportunities to grow in new spaces and new heights, and not really just take our path for granted. I've been thinking about this a lot. Pulling on that little piece of thread, knowing that you got it, that you can do this, and that it actually there, it resides within you. I lost a lot of gifts, and I lost my tooth. I'm trying to fix my tooth now. I lost that. You know, I lost friends. I lost certain opportunities that I was looking for in the land that I thought I was a key in, but it wasn't. And it just to show you that only surety in life is actually you. You have to be able to propel yourself to the next level, lock yourself in, pat yourself on the back, and have value for your life above all things. Nothing is more important in your life. When you have to rebuild from the ground floor up, do it. And I commend you. And if you need insight, if you want to talk about it, you want to come on my podcast and express it, let's do that too. Let's show the world that, we are beings that are able to create new realities for ourselves. That we're able to do new things in the world that we never imagined before. And that nothing in this world can dominate us or move us out of our place. A lot of times, entities come into your life not to improve you, but to derail you, to challenge who you are, to challenge your normacies and things of that nature. And it's okay. It's okay for those things to happen because this is what gives you your resolve. This is what gives you the that you need to fight through these different battles that you have to fight in the land. We need substance to fight in the land. And our greatest substance that we need to fight in the land is us. We need us. You can get all the things you want. You can be around all the people that you want. And you go all the places that you want in the world. But if you don't have you, and you don't got that energy that you could pull from, especially in times of change, in a time of the unknown, you want to be of value to your life. And you want to know that you got what it takes to find that little piece of thread and pull on that thread for your success. Is it an easy battle? I doubt it. It's not supposed to be. If you want it easy, I have no suggestions for you. It's not going to be easy. You have to work for the new you. You have to work to bring new energy into your life, and new values into your life, and new substance into your life, and new people into your life, new views into your life. You have to work for those things. And once you get them, they're going to move you in another direction that you wasn't even paying attention to. Think about it. With that, guys, I'm going to end the show. I'm going to start doing my show, 28 minutes instead of the whole hour, until I start getting more guests. I'll do an hour show when I get more guests. But for this point, I would do it for 28 minutes until later on. And with that, guys, peace. I'm Dada. Blessings in your new path. I'm here for you.